Hey everyone, Shaun Stevenson here, author of the Throne series, and it's back to school season around here. I know in where I live, everyone's already back to school, and some other places, kids are still not quite in school yet. They're, going back in soon, and college students are starting to arrive soon, but where I live, it's back to school season, and I guess all the school supplies are still out at Walmart and Target and all the places, so this counts. I recently was reading a bunch of back to school themed books. And I read one I really liked. This was the second book in this series I read, and it is Spinetinglers book 5, Check It Out and Die. It's so great. So this book was really good. Now, the only other Spinetinglers book I've read so far was Don't Step on a Crack, which that one was an amazing book. It's one of my favorite of these middle grade spooky books. Definitely at the top of my list. I loved the action in that book. The dread in that book was so good. And so I was kind of excited to read another one in this series, and I chose Check It Out and Die. So this one is about a librarian. And this librarian comes to the elementary school these kids are at. And it's a substitute librarian because the regular librarian's out for a while. And so Miss Gunkel, the librarian, has brought her own set of books to add to the library. Only something is wrong with these books because they're all horror books and they might just be more horrifying than at first glance. This book, I can't even tell you. I can't tell you because this will be a spoiler-free review. I will not spoil this book because I thought the ending was so fascinating. The twist ending of this, I was like, that's so interesting. And there's so much I want to say about that because that is such a fascinating idea to have that be that. And because of all of that around that. Now, a whole lot of vague on top of vague, but like I said, I'm not going to spoil this book for you. This had such a fascinating ending. I loved it so much. So this book has a bunch of these kids that are at the school. It's not related to the other Spinetinglers book. This is an anthology series, kind of like Goosebumps is. So these kids are really excited about this new librarian because they are not allowed to read horror books because the other librarian won't let them read them. So this new librarian, Miss Gunkel, she says they can totally read all the horror books they want. And in fact, she's got a lot of horror books that she's going to bring to the library in her personal collection, which I will say, I guess libraries get donations and things like that, but that's not exactly how libraries work, but it's fine. For the storyline, whatever, I could look past that. So the kids are really excited about checking out these horror books. In fact, they help Miss Gunkel load all the books into the library. They do all this work for her to help her and stuff. So they're super excited to check out these books. But on the first day, things start to go all kinds of wrong. It's just so much fun. I can't really even tell you. I was just reading the back of this book again before this review because I wanted to see, because I usually don't read the backs of these kinds of books because I don't want to know anything about them. And the back of this book, it really does a good job hiding what's going on in this book. So I'm going to stick to the back cover and the things that it says, and I'm not going to go anything past that because it really does hide what's happening in this book, which is so much more than you think. I just really enjoyed it. So let me talk a little bit about some of the different things: action, plot, setting, characters, etc. So let's start action because this book has a ton of edge of your seat action. The characters are in a lot of danger throughout the book, and you can start to pick up things as a reader. But what's nice here is you can pick up on things that are happening and start to piece it together and say, oh, this must be this. But you figure it out just barely before the characters do. So it's not one of those situations where, what's going on? We don't know what's happening and we're trying to figure it out. And you as the reader are sitting there thinking, I know exactly what's going on because you've telegraphed it and I can get it, what's happening. And it's not very suspenseful because I know what's going on. It's not a mystery. And this book, it does not play that game. There is definitely mystery here. You're wondering what's going on exactly, but you're piecing it together along with the characters who are figuring things out as you go. And I never felt oh no, they're just kind of beating around the bush, going on and on and on, trying to figure out this mystery when I know what it is. That's not the case. There's a ton of great action sequences in this book. I so enjoyed so many creepy settings. There's a cemetery near the school where some stuff happens, and that part was so great. I loved it so much. There is so many awesome moments in this book with different sorts of horror locations that they go to, like a haunted house and things like that, and different scenarios that are really creepy in this book. And so I thought that part of everything was so good. Also, the finale is so nail-biting. Like, it was one of those ones where you're thinking, are they actually gonna get out of this? I don't know. I don't know if every character will make it out of this story. There's just so many great images here, so many great ideas, so many great moments. I loved it. So plot-wise, like I've been saying, this is a great, tight little mystery that's, it's not super long. It's a typical 140-ish pages, and it was a really quick, easy read. I enjoyed it so much plot-wise. Character-wise, the characters in this book is where it's a little bit more bland. The characters are kind of the typical, kid characters for a 90s kind of spooky book anthology series. They're just very typical. They're not bad characters, and I never thought, oh, that's inauthentic, or that character doesn't seem true, or doesn't seem real to kids. All of that seemed very realistic and authentic, but the characters themselves are just bland. There's not anything about them that you can think, wow, that's such a fascinating thing about that character, and that's such interesting character development. That's not the point of this book. This book is not about character development. This book is about plot, mystery, scares. And on those, it really delivers. So character-wise, I do feel like this falls a little below the bar, which is a little unfortunate, but it's okay. Because like I said, the rest of the package here makes up for the characters being a little bit bland. Now, like I said, the settings. The settings here are everything you want. If you like spooky, macabre, skeletons, coffins, candles, cemeteries, all those things, this book has that atmosphere. In fact, I almost was thinking, wow, this book could actually double either as a back-to-school type themed book, because it's all there's the library, school library, and these books are a big part of what's happening in the story. But also there's a lot of really fun, it's fun spooky imagery, like skeletons and things like that. It's never super creepy. It's never super gross out, but it's a lot of fun. That spooky macabre vibe is here throughout the book. Also, the villains, which I am not going to say much about the villains, but the villains that are revealed are so creepy. I guess that's a little creepy, but anyways, the villains that are revealed are so creepy, and I thought they were so well done, and I thought, oh, that's such a fun idea. I love that so much, what's going on with the villains in this book. Can't say more about it because that would be a spoiler, and this is a spoiler-free review. So, check it out and die. Definitely. If you like spooky 90s anthology series books, this is definitely one to read. It is right up there, in my opinion, with some of the best Goosebumps books. I really, really liked this one a ton. So definitely check this one out if you... Check this one out. Check this one out if you have not yet. It is worth finding and reading for sure. In fact, I would give this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think if only the characters had been a tiny bit more interesting and had some development, this would have been a near perfect book, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this one. So definitely check it out. Check it out and die. It is worth reading. And until next time, keep reading, everybody. Bye.